If you own a float tent, you're going to want to pay close attention. This is a super important safety tutorial. We're going to break down a pretty serious electrical risk that's been reported by real users, people just like you. And more importantly, we're going to walk through the exact steps you can take to make sure you stay safe. Okay, let's get right into it. So, we're starting with a first-hand account, because I want you to understand this isn't some hypothetical problem. This is a very real and frankly dangerous situation that another float tank owner went through and was good enough to share with everybody as a warning. I mean, just imagine that for a second. You're cleaning your tank, you touch it, and bam, you get an electrical shock. You think, that was weird, you do it again, and it happens again. And the one thing that's supposed to protect you, that GFCI outlet, does absolutely nothing. That's exactly what happened to Scott McDougall.
And here you can see the original post. This isn't from some company manual. It's a real conversation happening in the community. Scott, who'd owned his Zen Float tank for years, shared this scary experience directly with other floaters, which makes this a really urgent and documented issue, not just some theory.
Okay, so what's really happening here? A shock is the symptom, right? But what's the actual cause? Let's dig into the technical side of why this happens, and don't worry, I'll break it down so it makes total sense.
The heart of the problem is something called stray current. It's a simple idea, but it's pretty scary. It basically means electricity is escaping from its proper wiring and is literally flowing into the salt water. And since salt water is an amazing conductor of electricity, your entire tank can become energized just waiting for a path to the ground. And that path could be you. And thankfully, we're not just guessing here. Another user, David Burv, had a similar thing happen, but he took it one step further. He actually went and hired an electrician to figure out what was going on, and they found the smoking gun, a specific wiring mistake inside the heater controller.
And this post is brilliant, because it shows the electrician's detailed findings. They found stuff like loose connections and, this is the big one, the neutral wire was connected to the wrong place. So this isn't just a random glitch, it's a specific, identifiable wiring flaw that lets that electricity leak out.
So let's just boil all that technical stuff down to one critical takeaway. The bottom line is this: a simple wiring mistake, something you would never even see, can turn that relaxing, therapeutic space of your float tent into a live electrical hazard. Okay, now that we get the problem, let's get to the most important part of all this, the solution. We've put together a really clear, actionable checklist based on these user experiences to help you prevent this from ever happening to you.
Here it is, 4 simple but absolutely non-negotiable steps. First, and this is the big one, always unplug everything, the pump, the heater, the filter, before you even think about getting in. Second, just take a look and confirm your grounding probe is actually in the water. Third, make it a habit, maybe the first of every month, to test your GFCI outlet. And fourth, if you have any doubt, any at all, please get a professional electrician to check your setup.
And hey, this isn't just our advice. Look at this quote from another owner, Antoinette Causeway, who also got a shock. Their new #1 rule became unplugging everything, every single time. Honestly, this is the most important habit you can possibly adopt. It guarantees your safety. If there's no power going to the unit, there's zero risk. It's that simple. Now let's talk about that grounding probe from step 2. What's it even do? Well, think of it like a safety valve for electricity. If any stray current does get into the water, this little metal rod gives it a super easy and safe path to the ground. Without it, that electricity might start looking for a different path, like through your body. That's why making sure it's in the water is so critical.
Now, doing these checks yourself is vital, but it's just as important to know your own limits. There are definitely times when trying to DIY it is not the answer, and you absolutely need to call in a professional. And who better to hear from than an actual electrician from the community? Adam Turnipseed gives perfect advice here. Simple visual checks? Okay, maybe. But the second you're talking about actually fixing wiring or connecting a ground wire, that is a job for a qualified electrician. Period. Don't take chances with this stuff. So I want to end with a question to really let this sink in. If you ever feel a little tingle or a small shock from your tank or the water, is that just a minor nuisance? Or is it maybe the final warning sign your system's giving you before something much more dangerous happens?
The answer is pretty clear, right? Any shock, no matter how small, is a sign of a critical failure. Water and electricity are a combination that leaves absolutely zero room for error. So the ultimate takeaway here is simple. When it comes to electrical safety with your float tent, if you have even the tiniest doubt, just turn it off, unplug it, and call a professional. Your safety has to be number one.